Yo, 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 yo. What's up, everybody? Top of the morning, y'all. It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Fah Fah. You already know what it is. Shout out to everybody, man. Hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend and all that. Hope you ate a lot of good food and all of that stuff. Um, got good, good boxing coming up this Saturday. Devin Haney versus George Kambosos. Just got over, Tank Davis stopping Rolly Romero. I just wanted to say, if you bet the house, if you bet the car, if you put it all up for Rolly Romero, shit, it's gonna be a bad month. Hope y'all niggas working a lot of overtime because you lost all that bread. Because that boy definitely walked into a hell of a right hook. I don't know. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be honest and say this. I don't know what people. I don't know what people want. I'm not gonna do the thing that everybody else is gonna do, and I'm not gonna pour all of this extra big gas on the George Kambosos and Devin Haney because it's not gonna be what everybody thinks it's gonna be. So if y'all think that I'm just gonna go like all extra crazy and be like, oh, George Kambosos is gonna do all of this stuff, the Spartan, the great one, and this and that. No, I'm not gonna do that with y'all because I've never done it before, so I'm not gonna do it now. George, good morning to you, sir. How you feeling? Arlie, what's goody with you? Rachel, what's popping? Yeah, man, has been a long time. Do say be busy as hell, but so what's going on with Tank? Is Tank going to stay with? Is Tank going to stay with the money team? Is he going to leave? Does anybody know if Tank's staying with Floyd? Or is he leaving? Working, bro. Working, man. I just been working, dude. Like, I don't really have no time to do shit no more, man. Said he's staying, so is he gonna stay underneath the PBC umbrella, or is he just is he staying with is he staying with the PBC, or he's staying with Floyd and Leonard too? Because I was under the impression that he was gonna be leaving after that fight. Or not necessarily leaving PBC, but leaving the dealing with Floyd or having Floyd have so much control of his career. Thought he was staying. If he's staying, man, like, I don't know, man. What I could say to that is if he's staying, like, I just expect this, like, I'm done with it at this point. And for him to be a Maryland native, I'm really done with it. Because if he's going to stay underneath the PBC umbrella, you're never going to get the fights that you would like to see out of a kid with that type of talent. So unfortunately, that career is a dud. He's what, 27 now? So there ain't much. He's not going to. What could you expect from a 27-year-old guy who ain't never given you one big fight in his career? The biggest fight he's given you in his career was Jose Pedraza and Leo Santa Cruz. I say Jose Pedraza because that was his first championship. I say Leo Santa Cruz because that was his biggest fight. I mean, biggest name fight. Other than that, if you only getting Leo Santa Cruz, Jose Pedraza, Isaac Cruz, and Rolly Romero, then I don't expect it to be nothing but a bunch of digested, in-house work. And, just keep mixing it up. And like, at this point, I'm just tired of it. That's just going to be another situation where there's just wasted talent, man. A lot of talent, but a lot of wasted talent, unfortunately. And the other guys at 135, they got defense. They got either got superior offense and superior defense, so they do one or the other better. And with the one thing Tank suffering, the other guys can take advantage of him for that shit. So if he ain't going to jump on, if he's not going to take advantage of his career right now, honestly, I would say this. His next fight really would dictate, the trajectory of his career. If his next fight isn't nobody that's literally in the top 3 or the top 5, especially when you got the right to pick and choose whoever is there, then realistically don't expect anything from him. And him being from Maryland, I'm more invested in him than I probably should be. But I'm not going to be disingenuous with who he is as a fighter. That dude has done nothing with his career. Started off on the right way, and then they completely, did a whole 180 and just did some different shit. Floyd wasn't at the fight, dudes. Oh, he wasn't there. I guarantee, like, shit, that shit could probably create. I wonder what type of stuff going on with Al Haymon and Floyd then. Like, it says a lot. Like, I think, man, maybe the kid 1 foot out the door, or possibly maybe he could be 1 foot out the door, and like Al trying to like reel him in with like some type of conversation along these lines, hypothetically, like, well, whatever you was dealing with Floyd, whether it's discrepancies with the fight or whatever, You dealing with me going forward, you won't be having these type of problems. And realistically, it could probably be still the same hand, just different wordplay. It could still be the same scenario though. Who knows? But regardless of whatever it is, if he don't leave now and capitalize on what I saw take over everything, what I saw Saturday, I saw 20,000 people at a fight that 5,000 people shouldn't be at. Real shit. I saw big stars at a fight. I saw people that you wouldn't normally think that would be at a fight of that caliber sitting front row. I saw all the lights on in MSG when we know they only had the lights on in the arena unless it's filled up. So you command that type of star power if you can have that type of draw, but you're wasting that shit and they wasting you, which means they're wasting your career. Keep fucking around. Facts, they just going to promote Tank to the casual fan base to push him financially, not towards elite level opposition. And yo, you want to know what's crazy about that salute side encounter? This is what I'm going to say, and this shit is going to get under a lot of people's skin. It's going to get under my people's skin the wrong way. Black people, this is how they use you. This is how they use me too if I was dumb enough to let them. This is how they look at you. They look at you like you have no hold on, no knowledge on the sport whatsoever, so they could spoon feed you all of these dry opponents and they could tell you that he's the best fighter at 135 pounds. They could send him up to 140 pounds and make it look like he's doing something great when he's fighting a mediocre fighter and tell you that he's going up to another weight class to fight for a baby belt and call it a world title. They can shove you 126-pound fighters and have them fighting for two different belts, two different baby belts and two different weight classes and call him a world champion. And you guys will eat this shit up and come out and pay for it, buy the tickets, buy the pay-per-view, and view this guy like he's the most sensational fighter at 135 pounds and arguably view him as the biggest puncher in boxing. That's how they use you. Because if they truly thought other than how I'm conveying it, they wouldn't even try this shit. I'm sorry. I'm truly of the belief that nobody in their right mind would try to sell you the shit that they sell you if they believe that you had any knowledge of the sport. Like, who does that? Like, bro, this man has been fighting for baby belt after baby belt, old head after old head, flat tire after flat tire, going in there against guys who don't even have a name. Like, look at Isaac Cruz's stock right now. Isaac Cruz should be literally heralded as a proverbial nobody. But you want to know why he's not? Because he went out there and went 12 rounds with a guy who's supposed to be the biggest puncher at 135 pounds. Look how they use you. Look how they market him to you. Look how they give him to you and try to say that he's the best fighter in that division while you got two other individuals who are on the whole Eastern Hemisphere right now, ready to fight for unified world titles. And he's not even mentioning that, but they call him a world champion. Look how they use you. Shit, that might even should be the title of this shit. Look how they use you. Because like I said, you can't sell a motherfucker shit like this if you think they would have any other knowledge. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And the sad thing is, right now, salute. I fucks with Tank. I think Tank should be in the driver's seat at Tank at 27. I think that he should be ahead of the class out of all them other dudes. The sad part is, you know what I'm saying, on the casual level, they probably would put him ahead of the class of the other dudes who are literally the world champions in the division. But honestly, as far as skill set, as far as punching his gloves, as far as marketability and everything, he should be light years above them dudes, and them dudes should be trying to make their names and be looking like he should be really look like as the big dog in the division. But that whole shit is just a smoke screen, and it's just some whole some mirage type shit. You know what I mean? Contrived by the PBC to put in people's face to try to make them believe that he's more than what he is. Can he punch hard? Absolutely. But he need to be punching harder opponents. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude definitely should be. He should definitely be the head of the class. He started doing shit way before them. Like Devin, we shouldn't literally. The best way I could put it is like this: we realistically should not have watched Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. We shouldn't have watched the birth of their careers. We shouldn't have watched them ascend, climb a mountain in their career, become world champion in their careers, unified champions in their careers, all in the span of the time that you know what. And they've only been doing this shit for a couple years, and this nigga Tank been around for how long? So it's just like, bro, if you a leader of the new school, bro, how you gonna do that shit from, you know what I'm saying? It looked recessive. They ain't using me. The Barclays wasn't sold out. All lies deuce on TMT and the PBC. Of course, they're not going to be able to use somebody like you, but I'm speaking to, but you got to understand all it. I'm speaking to the class of, you know what I'm saying, my people or our people, in a sense to where those people who get so hoodwinked by whatever the numbers that they throwing out there, the ones that do show up and go front row seat, the ones that do when they talk about lightweight boxing or they talk about boxing in a whole, they throwing his name out there like, you know, he's the must-see TV in the boxing world, but he's not, though. He's not. Yes, he's must-see TV. I won't take that away. He is an exciting fighter to watch, but he's not doing no exciting shit. But they'll lead you to believe that he's doing all the exciting shit in the sport, and he's really not, when really, you know what I'm saying, the big shit is taking place on June 5th in Australia at the Marvel, you know what I'm saying, stadium. But all of our community tend to believe that Tank is he ahead of everybody, man. And that's all promotion and shit. But if you go on BoxRec, if you look at the rankings, how is this guy heralded so great? He don't even grace the pound for pound. Has Tank ever been on the pound for pound list? But none of that shit matters. So I guess in a lot of ways, clout, I don't know. Is clout more important than the belts? It shouldn't be. Yeah, man. It's like he really don't care. But see, like low key, it's like those monsters in the closet, those monsters under his bed that be haunting him low key that he might not admit to, but you know what I'm saying, he lets out and whispers when it come to his Twitter fingers though. It's those monsters that come from underneath his bed that start to haunt him when he start thinking about when Teofimo went out there and he did what everybody said was the impossible and he took those belts from Lomachenko. It's them monsters that, you know, haunt him underneath that bed when George Kambosos, a guy who went life and death with Lee Selby, goes out there and fights Teofimo Lopez and puts an ass whooping on him, and then he takes those belts and he takes them over to Australia. It's those type of monsters under the closet that gotta, you know what I'm saying, come and poke you in your ribs and smack you in your face. Or, you know, those people on Twitter that's sitting back like, damn, Tank, that should have been you. Because I know if it was me, my guy, if it was me and I'm sitting there and I'm that fighter at 135 and I'm fighting the Isaac Cruzes of the world or the Mario Barrios of the world or 126 fighters coming up of the world to try to make a case for myself when these dudes is doing all of this shit, I would have to, it'd be that type of shit that would really, really, really make me want to adjust. And if you're not adjusting based off of that, like, dude, like my man said, you really just do not care. True, the ads for the fight was the 135 pound title, no sanctioning bodies mentioned. Man, isn't that something? Like, that's why like I've really tried to stick it to my people when I'm just like, bro, like we've had great boxers, we've had exciting boxers, like we've had a whole 50, 60, 70 years plus of, you know, world's great boxers. But when you talk about champions, bro, it's like, why is Tank Davis being mentioned? He's not the great African-American boxer that currently. He's not a great African-American boxer. He's more like, he's everything that's wrong with boxing. And I don't know how to mark it up. It's like you got a kid that's not smart enough to know that he's being used. And then you being used the wrong way, and the money you thinking is good isn't even good money. Like after taxes bust him upside his head and then he goes buy jewelry and everything, I'm sure he has to have a reality check like, yo, what the fuck? Am I really a star? Am I really just a regular dude out here with, you know, much higher expensive, higher bills? And I'm just really out here struggling because, bro, if it came down to it, bro, like I don't even think he making Devin Haney money. Is he making Devin Haney money? Shit. Is he making Devin Haney money before even like fighting contracts is involved? Like shit, I don't even know. Like Tank is the wild of the lightweight division. When he steps up in competition, he'll get beat from being so complacent. Bro, I agree with you, man. Like, I look at that Leo Santa Cruz situation like, bro, that Leo Santa Cruz fight, man, that shit said a lot for me, dog, like for real. And I was like low key, like, bro, I was like, man, I really think that he could possibly lose this fight because he's not defensively responsible. And honestly, you know, you watch him fight Leo Santa Cruz, you watch him fight Isaac Cruz, you watch him fight anybody with some type of Cruz in their name. He's getting exposed. Look at how Rolly was touching him. We could just talk about that. Look at how Rolly touched him. Rolly was catching this man. And here's the thing, right? All Rolly had to do, right? Here's the thing about Tank that makes him so susceptible to getting his ass whooped. He don't jab. He don't jab. He don't got a 1. He don't got a 1-2. He don't got a 1-2-3. He don't got none of that. Tank literally just scoots forward and looks for one shot at a time. Power punches. Bro, it's so easy to make him look bad. And I think the money team know that too. But maybe shit is so slim over at the money team. They just like, look, man, we'll go with this little weak bullshit and hang on to this because shit, I don't think they even got anything better than that. Like they had to sacrifice Rolly because they knew they couldn't risk him nowhere else. That's just what I think, man. Dude's Tank is in debt to a car and a jewelry company. He only made $1.5 million for his fight. Hustling backwards, man. Talk about hustling backwards. You're talking about an individual that owes 1.5 million, barely makes 1 million after his fights. Then on top of that, he don't got no endorsement deals. They don't got him lined up. Look, one thing we can say about Ryan Garcia is this. Ryan Garcia might be smacking around tomato cans, whatever the case may be, but man, he makes sure his money right. He gonna make sure his money right. Like if you're gonna be a clout whore, at least be a clout whore and bring in a bag. At least this dude's got endorsement deals, modeling deals. This dude's doing Gatorade shit. I just saw, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't I just see Ryan Garcia in a Gatorade commercial with Damian Lillard? He even had like Damian Lillard hitting the pads or something like that. Don't nobody know who Damian Lillard is. Superstar point guard for the Portland Trailblazers or whatever. I'll wait to see Tank's next move. If this purses go up from 1.5 million to 2 to 3, then we know he was just making noise for extra money and not because he wants better competition. That's a very good point, Ray. Great point. Yeah, I'm gonna do that shit myself. Fantasy fight: Costa Zoo versus Tim Bradley. Man, if it come down to scale for skill, I would give it to Tim Bradley. But Tim Bradley, he like to get in firefights and fight for the crowd too much. So I think Costa Zoo would probably stop him. I think Costa, if it come down to it, Tim Bradley's over eagerness to go and jump into a firefight and love, you know what I'm saying, getting his chin touched and love putting on for the fans athletically, I think that would come back to bite him in the ass. Because we know one thing about Tim Bradley, if we look at wrestling providing the call, if we look at, you know what I'm saying, Manny Pacquiao or anybody else that he's been in the ring with, he'll just go in there and he'll just take off for you. You know what I mean? And he'll hit the canvas, though he will get up. He'll touch the canvas for that. But if Costa Zoo hit him, I mean, we saw what it did to Zab Judah. I kind of see that type of thing happening because, like I said, man, Tim Bradley the type of person where you could take, you know, his over eagerness and his aggression and use it against him. And Costa Zoo with that type of power, if he catched him, he gonna put him on the canvas. I don't know if Tim Bradley will be able to get up from that. But if it came down to a 12-round thing, Tim Bradley would beat his ass over 12 rounds. Athletically, speed, footwork, movement, all of those things, IQ, Tim Bradley would definitely take advantage of. But if it came just down to like earlier rounds and just eagerness to get to it and put on for the fans, I think that Tim Bradley would definitely, you know, get caught by some hot shit by Costa Zoo. That's a fact. Ryan bigger than Tank low key. He is though. Ryan is bigger than Tank. Look at all the shit Tank. Look at all the shit Ryan be doing. Ryan protect the bag. Like we can't forget this kid secured 2 bags before ever fighting a top 10 opponent, man. Two new contracts he secured without fighting a top 10 opponent. Now this got to say a lot about an individual. When a kid can literally have his promoter come out and say that they need him more than we need him. We need him more than he needs us. When Ryan Garcia has Oscar De La Hoya saying that shit out in the public, how easy is it not to manipulate another bag or to, to demand your worth? when you have your promoter speaking like that, like, yo, a light would have to go off in my head to be like, yo, the promoter speaking about me like this, man, the demands is about to get real heavy. Fucking right. I'm demanding it all. Because, man, you just letting me know that if this was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, God damn it, I'm your lifeline, I'm your phone call, I'm your ask the audience, I'm all of the above. Facts. Holt, Pravard, Nicole, Vargas, Pacquiao all had Tim Bradley hurt. Yeah, man. It's just that over eagerness to get to it, bro. And I think a lot of fighters, you know what I'm saying, fall victim to this. You know what I mean? Like, some fighters are guilty. Some fighters look back on their career and they have that nostalgic point of view where they just like, yo, I spent a lot of time fighting for the crowd, and maybe that might have happened to my detriment. Maybe I should have done less fighting for the crowd and I should have just stuck to, the game plan. Because when they think about their faculties or they think about how certain shit played out, fighting for the crowd don't, man, fuck that. Because when you lose, would you rather be criticized for not necessarily engaging in a way and being booed for a moment, or would you rather be on a highlight reel and be knocked the fuck out? And then you lose your purse, you lose your contracts, you lose all of the above. Fuck fighting for the crowd. Fight for the W. Fight for the win. Fight for the next big check. Fight for the next big contract. Nothing more. Nothing more. Hate or love it, nobody, you're not going to please everybody. As a fighter, you're never going to please everybody. So don't fucking fight for the crowd. Like, yeah, knock motherfuckers out. It should always be your intention to get them out of there. But if you don't, fuck it. So be it, man. As long as you ain't fighting scared or nothing, I'm good with it. But fuck that. Don't pull no Tim Bradleys out here, man. Salute, Mr. T. He said, Crying Garcia is the most important piece of De La Coca's chessboard. Absolutely. But it's like this. How important is the kid going to be if you Jaime Munguia his shit? Like, you going to Jaime Munguia his shit and tiptoe with him? Because, like, the world getting sick of Jaime Munguia, too. That's why they giving them, a shot Danny Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world gonna get sick of Ryan Garcia, too. Like, look, Ryan Garcia is in such a bad place right now because of that Emmanuel to go situation, but it won't really hurt him because, Oscar De La Hoya is always going to play that hand to where it's like, okay, Ryan is more important than Virgil, when really Virgil should be the most important person to his program. I know he was recently sick and all of that, but really he should be pouring more attention on trying to make Virgil Ortiz a star than make Ryan Garcia a star at any given time. Been done with him. You could pack both of them boys up and ship them niggas to Tuesday night TV or some shit like that for all I care. Y'all see Ryan Garcia in that tuxedo on Saturday. He was there to call out Tank, but they didn't let him in the ring. That's what his ass get to. Sit him on the sideline. Fuck him. Cause like this what he trying to do. He trying to sell himself out for that payday. And I guarantee Ryan do think he can beat Tank because what he saw with Leo Santa Cruz. But I'm going to say this. Ryan Garcia is not better than Leo Santa Cruz. He's not better than Leo Santa Cruz. So if Ryan Garcia think he can go out there, he can get Tank out of the way with that high-powered offense, no, Tank will knock him out. His feet too bad. He got stiff-ass Bambi legs. He ain't bend at the knee. He don't know what to do with his fucking legs, bro. And after you just fought Emmanuel, chopped cheese out that motherfucker, and you looked, whoa, mundane. You not getting that Tank fight. And honestly, he probably ruined that shit based on his own shit. Facts. And that's exactly why I say they should be investing more into the real instead of the really fake. You know what I'm saying? Because like with Virgil Ortiz, you get two benefits. You're gonna make a shitload of money with him. He got the skill set. We done seen him in the ring with former world champions. You know what I'm saying? Look at his learning curve. It ain't as steep. And he's constantly been fighting guys he been fighting top 10 guys consistently. We can look at his last 3 or 4 fights and say, yo, this dude is fighting top 10 guys, stopping top 10 guys. This dude is really built. He's durable. He's got the speed. He's a hell of a boxer puncher. He's got the attitude. He want to smoke with all of the best. Man, shit, just last year, this motherfucker was on a campaign to try to fight Terrence Crawford. You got a guy like that and you investing all of your money into, like in the baby spice. I don't get it. Like, why are we investing all our money in the baby spice and you got a real motherfucker over there? and a person who really puts boxing to where it's like, yo, you don't have to fake it for the interviews. See, here's the problem with a lot of these promoters. A lot of these promoters got dudes to where they got to do defensive. They got to promote on the defensive. They got to always save face for the opponents they fight, and they got to save face for their activity when they get in the ring and shit like that. Guys like the Virgil Ortizes of the world, the Terrence Crawfords of the world, shit. Who else? The Emmanuel Navarretes and so many other fighters like that. You don't have to save face and bullshit with their promotion. Like, these dudes really can fight. You really can put them in there with top 5 guys. You really can take a risk on the offensive. You can play chess with them niggas, because they can go out there and they can really beat the shit out of top 5 guys, world champions, all of that, and you can go sit up front with that comfort. You can't do that with the Jaime Munguias, the Ryan Garcias, the Tank Davises, the Teofimo Lopez's, and them other bitch boys of the world. You can't do that with them other microwave fighters. Like, you can separate the real from the fake real quick. Look at who they fighting, man. Shit, Keyshawn Davis about to be another one of them motherfuckers. You really can put him in there with top opponents and watch him dismantle them, man. Been sick of Ryan Garcia bullshit. Munguia fighting Uber drivers. And yo, shout out to my man Martin Ramos. And look, right, the crazy thing is, man, like, it's sad because Arlen was giving him hell that day too. Shout out to Arlen. She was giving Jaime Munguia a monster hell, because I was making a very stark comparison of Jaime Munguia and Jamal Charlo, and how, you know what I'm saying, the kind of learning curve that them niggas is on, they kind of trajectory like mirroring one another's right now. They kind of lines is running parallel. And like Jaime Munguia, it's like a step up for Jaime Munguia to fight Gabe Rosado. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit's sad. Like, your step up fight is Gabe Rosado. Like, and now you about to fight a shot Danny Jacobs. Now what's Jamal doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of these dudes is fighting like fluff piece fighters, man. And it's hard not to like dog these dudes out, because it's like people praising these guys, but really, like, they learning curve. Like, they taking on novice level fighters who are literally just being passed around, being beat up. And niggas is act like these dudes is getting a step up. Now, if I take a step up and I fight a loser and I stop a loser, how does that make me a winner? Like, 2 negatives don't make a positive in the boxing world, bro. Like, if he was a loser when you fought him, and now I fight him and I do something with him, that shit don't, like, how does that translate to me doing anything with a world champion? I don't fucking get it, man. Man, Shakur would beat all breaks off a Tank, man. Shakur is hyper talented. Like, guys like that, that's when you got that confidence of like, okay, I could send him anywhere in the world. I do him like I would do Devin Haney, like I would do MJ Akhmadaliev, Vasily Lomachenko, you know what I'm saying? Like a few guys, like even the kid that Benavidez senior training right now, El Rayo. Like, I would send, like, at Virgil Ortiz and them niggas, I send them niggas anywhere in the world and let them fight. Because you know you ain't got to worry about, oh, they look bad on this night and that night. Nah, they gonna perform. We need more fighters. We need more fighters in the forefront that really can perform. Not these actors, bro. Because as long as you got actors in these positions, man, we're gonna be exposing these niggas all day, man. And it can't be helping your promotion. It can't be. Jamal fight. Oh yeah, that's right. Jamal fighting fucking Demetrius Andre, old fighter, Makajay Shalecki or whatever. The one that just went life or death in what I thought was fight of the year 2 years ago with who was it? Gabriel Rosado. Do you see the consistent, like, the spin, the circle jerk here? They're giving this nigga to this nigga, then we're going to go fight this one. We're going to create these triangle theories for fans. I'm telling you, bro, they think fans are that dumb. It is fucking insane to me how dumb they think y'all are. Yeah, they think fans are that dumb, bro. Like, yo, we're going to give... Okay, Charlo's going to fight Shalecki after Andre just fight him, and we just criticize Andre for fighting Shalecki, talking about who the fuck is Shalecki. So now we're going to give him the Andre, and then after Gabriel Rosado just fights, like, come on, bro. Gabriel Rosado, who did he just fight before they gave him the Jaime Munguia? We not proving no points, man. We just throwing shit around the box, other shit. And then what they want y'all to do is they're like, okay, well, if he fought the same person Andre fought and he fought better than him, then we can create an Andre to say, well, he fared better than Andre in this situation. So why does he need to fight Andre? He just saw us the person that Andre fought. These triangle theories are literally becoming relevant in the arguments that boxing fans have. That's, to me, that's the only reason they would be doing this shit. I don't see why they would consistently do this shit if they believed anything, if they believed otherwise. Like, why? Why? Makes no sense. Hami fighting Jimmy Kelly. He fighting Jimmy Kelly. I thought they was lining him up with Danny Jacobs. I said, well, at least that's what I heard. I heard they were supposed to be lining him up with Danny Jacobs. My thoughts on that was, I was like, okay, you know, Danny Jacobs ain't been doing shit. Maybe they think they're gonna get Danny Jacobs at like a good time, but I was hoping they would, though, because he had a huge chance in losing that fight. At least I would have respected that on some level. Tank versus Rolly was boring. It was boring, because you want to know why it was boring for me? Because you could predict the outcome. Any fight where we can predict the outcome is boring as fuck. How do we, like, anybody, a blind man who's never been able to do anything but hear punches the entirety of his fucking life, he could tell you what would take place in that fight. The dude's gonna walk into a right hand. His aggression is gonna get him spent. He's gonna walk into a right hand and the fight's gonna be over. Or he's gonna overextend himself with a nasty ass overhand right, and he's gonna get caught with an uppercut. And that's exactly what happened. I was just more shocked than anything that it took as long as it did. I'm surprised that he got punched the way he did. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm petty and I probably look for shit to go wrong. But I feel like in every fight, I feel like you should try to take something from it, regardless of whether a nigga does bad for 2 seconds or he does bad for 36 minutes. I feel like it's upon you to, like, if you do something wrong, you do something wrong, and the nigga should have to adjust it. Well, Tank just gets hit too much. They just need to sacrifice Jamal to Benavidez for real, because you're not gonna milk no more money out this dude. If you you get a Canelo bag out of him. All right, well, Canelo just gonna knock him out real fast, and you're gonna be able, you're not gonna be able to salvage him from that. You're gonna have a mentally broken fighter who ain't gonna be able to come back. So you might as well, but shit, you give him David Benavidez, there ain't gonna be that much money involved in it. He'll kill him. He would like real life killer. So shit. Do you, from a business standpoint, do you shelf him for a little bit? Or do you give him David and just let David kill him? I don't know. But you got to do something with him. They need to sacrifice Cuck Eubank and Jesus Christ. This nigga said Cuck Eubank. Scare your ass to any goddamn body. Yeah, man, look. We gotta get fucking Chris Eubank out of fucking Pensacola. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man. It's time to see what him and Roy Jones really can do, bro. Like, at this point, I don't even give a fuck what happens with Chris Eubank. Respect God, love his father to death, respect him and all of that. Feel like his son could do something. I ain't gonna say his son is a sucker or nothing like that. He just a clown, man. He'll fight you. He just a clown. When Shakur moves up to 135, he's gonna beat all those dudes. Yeah, man. But look at him at 130 right now. His body filling out so crazy, though. He ain't got no choice but to go up to 135. Honestly, you know, I feel like, you know, Bob Arum really showed how much, you know what I'm saying, he don't give a fuck about nobody's career, and his business is bigger than, you know, your whatever you think about your career and your program. And I mean, I kind of understand it. But when you basically, after that man beats Oscar Valdez and you butthurt that Oscar Valdez lost the way he did, instead of you just, you know what I'm saying, like bigging up your fighter and putting your fighter in the best light, you're so old and senile and short with people. You're going to say, basically, fuck his undisputed aspirations at 135. Nobody knows who the IBF champion at 135 is. Nobody knows who the WBA champion is. Well, not the the WBA champion at 135 is. Fuck those belts. So you're basically going to say, fuck this man going undisputed because you feel like the world don't know who that is. Well, you as the promoter, if you keep saying, fuck undisputed, fuck this fighter, nobody knows who this fighter is, and so on and so forth, then of course nobody's gonna know who wanted you. You supposed to want this. You supposed to want this people to know who everybody is in the sport. That's how you get more money. That's how you get more popular fighters in the sport. You can't shit on other fighters from a promotional seat, bro, and shit on your fighters' opponents, potential opponents, and say, oh, don't nobody know who they are. They ain't gonna get no money, bro. These are world champions you talking about, bro. And if you're gonna have that type of energy when it comes to certain world champions, then you need to have that same type of energy all the way across the board, because that's how I felt about Oscar motherfucking Valdez for a long time, while you was holding his ass, pacifying him, and not letting him fight no fucking body. So come on, man. Don't try to shit on that young man career like that. That shit really made me feel some type of way. Yeah, man, he old as fuck. Like, it's like, and the fact that he's so old, it's like, yo, we gotta either get him out the way, or man, at least, man, or scream what the fuck he's saying, man. Because he gonna fuck up niggas' money, man. He fucking up niggas' money. When you say shit like that, you fucking up the money. Eubank Jr. not the best, but good to watch. Cardio monster. Absolutely. I ain't gonna take nothing away from him and say he don't have no skills or nothing like that. It's just like, bro, it's just like, I'm just irritated with the handle. Like, it's like, okay, what are we doing with Chris Eubank at this point in time? Or what are y'all doing with him? Because I mean, I'm not thoroughly impressed. But yeah, he definitely got a Josh Warrington type win take though. I will give him that. Eubank calling Crawford, fuck say he's a sucker. Man, dude, it's like you gotta take that shit. I take that shit with a grain of salt, because it's just like, yo, in certain instances when people say certain people name, nigga, I know you're not serious. I know you're not serious. I know you don't want that fight. Bro, you do realize that Bob just had Bud Crawford. He don't want to make the same mistakes he had with Bud getting undisputed, but nobody knows you. But at the end of the day, it don't matter. But you're a promoter. So it's one or two ways. You just had Bud Crawford, but at the same time, people talk about the pay-per-view numbers, but we gonna consistently leave out the fact that why was none of the fights ever made with any of the guys who would really move a bill at 147. It's like, it's one thing for you to take and make fights with the guys that you can make fights with, because nobody else is going to fight you. But in some instance, we can't sit up here and put all ownership on Bob Arum for Bud's shortcomings when there's other promotional outfits that don't want to fight either. If you're not going to take the best over here and put them with the best over here, how are we going to make the best money? Like this whole and when people argue this whole, and that's kind of like a one side of the street kind of conversation. If people gonna have these arguments about money, and it's almost disingenuous to have that conversation to me. Like, to talk about what a person's selling or what a person making when everybody integrally is not willing to fucking co-promote. If you're not willing to take your best fighter, your most marketable fighter at that weight and mix them with your best fighter at this weight, how are we ever going to make the most money? And how are we going to take frustrations and put them on one fighter and act like, yo, this fighter wasn't marketable because of this reason, and that's why he's trying to save face? No, that fighter wasn't marketable because nobody was willing to play ball with one another. There's plenty of fighters that should be marketable that aren't marketable due to this one side of the street type of syndrome, or, okay, well, this promotional outfit has this power and this leverage, so we're just going to leverage these fights with the guys that are in our stable. Base it like this. Boxing should be based on solely the best fighters need to fight the best fighters, and if your guy fucking loses, your guy loses. And we ain't going to take nothing. And until then, and until people do away with that aspect of the bullshit, nobody deserves to have a conversation on how marketable one fighter is, when we know wholeheartedly that nobody was willing to play ball from 2018 all the way to 2022. And it took till 2022 just to get Sean Porter in that mix. So it's kind of disingenuous to sit up there and say that there's no marketing value there. That's what I don't like about the conversation. And that's when I don't like to talk about when people saying this promoter is wasting time or that promoter is wasting time, when really all of them are wasting time. If they're not willing to work together, then we can't put blame on one person. That's just how it boils down to me. I'm sorry. This is me just waking up. Fuck the Cowboys. Reap the people they kill. You already know, Ronald Finkley, salute. Hearn takes L's because he puts on competitive fights. Right, like and you want to know what's crazy to me? Was it like niggas will always say, "Oh, the white man this, the white man that. Don't nobody want to play ball, blah blah blah. You can't get money with these white promoters and this and that." But I ask people the genuine question. I ask people the genuine question all the time. What's Shakur Stevenson's career be? What Shakur Stevenson's career is if he was with if he was with PBC right now? Would a lot of these fighters' careers be what it be in the infancy of what it is if they were with the PBC right now? We know that's not the case. Look at Tank Davis. So at the end of the day, it's like this. If Eddie Hearn got Demetrius Andre, like Demetrius Andre, this is one thing that truly makes me sick to my stomach because he is a superior talent. He passes all the eye tests. He is superior talent. But when people say we haven't seen him fight anybody, but nobody's willing to fight him, but when Eddie Hearn sits up there and says, okay, let's start with Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo, we're willing to send our fighter over to Fox, over to Showtime, wherever you need him. We're willing to pay this amount of money. Y'all can host him. Y'all can promote it. Y'all can do whatever. We just want the fight. When you're willing to do that and don't nobody want to do nothing with you, where does marketing value and where does promotional value, where does that frustration lie? Does that frustration lie with Eddie Hearn and does it lie with Demetrius Andre or does it lie with the people who don't want to play ball? Because I just don't feel as though that's fair. That's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like you giving one kid a fucking cookie, but the other kid saying, yo, he can't have shit out the fucking jar. That's basically what that is. Basically saying, you know what, I got 3 kids over the crib and I favor this motherfucker, so I'm gonna give him a cookie out the jar and I'm just gonna put the top on right in front of the other 2 little motherfuckers and watch them cry their eyes out about, you know what I'm saying, like how unjust and unfair it really is. But everybody in the fucking house just watch me get his kid a cookie and close the cookie jar on the other 2 kids, but I'm still gonna point my argument and say this motherfucker is trash. He ain't never did nothing. He ain't never fought nobody. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? He don't bring no value. He don't sell. Why the fuck is that when I just watch you get this little motherfucker a cookie, but the other 2 are motherfucking sweet? Shit crazy to me, man. Shit is absolutely crazy. But that's boxing. And we talk about marketing values and marketing shares and who does what and who does this, when that's a fucking bullshit practice and a bullshit conversation that nobody can truly have and be honest about it. That's why I'll just be like, that's why I be like really, really outside of my body when it comes to these conversations in a sense where it's like, I don't got no rap for it. Because like, yo, because it's like, it's kind of like how history runs. Like, yo, like, the winner always tells the story of the victor. He was this and that, and the other guy was a tyrant and all of this shit. When really, if you go back to them times, it probably wasn't like that. Like we could look at the world right now in the pandemic and say 20 years from now, people would tell you this is the worst shit ever when really everybody was perfectly fine. That's kind of like how, you know, the history of boxing gonna work some years down the line. Niggas is going to tarnish Bud Crawford's career, Demetrius Andre, and all of these other fighters who were willing to play ball, but nobody wanted to give these dudes the time of day. And there were really politics in place that stood in the way and said, yo, these niggas couldn't hit. But everybody going to talk bad about them and say, yo, these dudes were the reason why we didn't have no succession in the sport at that time. Yo, that's some sick shit. Yo, the world is a motherfucking sick place, man. Tom Brown said Andre wasn't good enough to fight on the PBC. The article is on boxing. Meanwhile, Charlo was fighting his leftover. That's the shit I'm talking about. That's the shit I'm talking about. But see, he not good enough to fight on the PBC, but your fighters out here fighting, you know what I'm saying, leftover after leftover, and then y'all trying to, you know what I'm saying, go out and fight other guys that Andre fights. Because look, here's the truth of the matter. Niggas say don't nobody know who Demetrius Andre is, then why the fuck do y'all say the same shit every time his name is mentioned there? Clearly y'all must know the motherfucker. Clearly it's enough conversations that's been had when everybody, because clearly if you wouldn't say who the fuck is Demetrius Andre or what the fuck has he done? Well, if you don't know nothing about the motherfucker, then how the fuck are you going to try to base your argument around what he's done or what he hasn't done? So you've been paying attention to something. You got to know that he's good for something. And look, I'm done with the excuse. And honestly, if you want to be real about some shit, look at what happened with Dimitri Bivol and look what happened to Canelo Alvarez and tell me, from the time that dude fought, who was it? James Kirkland, right? He fought James Kirkland off a 2-year layoff and didn't fight Demetrius Andre for his belt. You can't tell me that Demetrius Andre ain't some of the reason why that dude don't there ain't some reason he don't want to fight Demetrius Andre because of skill set. You can't tell me that after what I just saw with Dimitri Bivol. And it had nothing to do with just Dimitri Bivol being big. It's the skills that you shy away from, bro. It's like, bro, we stonewall. We basically gonna shun niggas that got certain talents, man. Leonard even said boxing is a niche sport, so he's going for the casual money. It is, and I get it. That's why I don't be really mad at the clout warriors. I'm just mad at the people who argue with us about this shit, that say that that certain people are cowards, or certain people don't want to play ball, and certain people don't want to fight, when really promoters chase clout. Promoters stop other fighters from having certain fights, and certain promoters are going to tell you, yo, we not going to fight this dude unless you give us an insane amount of money. Literally, we've witnessed somebody say, we know who that is, that you're going to have to pay me an astronomical amount of money if you want us to even entertain Demetrius Andre. Yeah, we're going to need more money than Canelo. We know who said that. We've heard certain people say, yeah, that's a difficult style. It's difficult as hell. We don't want to entertain that. That's why they're not taking them fights. But they thought they was going to get away with it with the European who fights with that same style. How dumb are you? And got just whooped 9-3. So we know who do what. It's a big game of clout, and it ain't really about who does the best. Boxing mirrors the music industry in a lot of ways. 90% business, 10% talent. It ain't about what you know, it's about who you know. And it ain't about what you're doing, it's about how you look. Because if it boiled down to talent, a lot of the dudes that are champions right now wouldn't even be champions. This shit's out of control. My thing is, man, look, if we like, I'm cool with clout. We can do clout shit too. But here's my thing: if it's gonna be all about clout, like, bro, let's make that shit. Let's make that shit legendary. Let's make that shit really about some clout. Let's have that shit reach some audiences. Let's have some fucking. Let's really have some events that really are worth the bullshit. You know what I mean? Let's not sit up here and fake about, like, let's not like what, there's no clout in Jamal Charlo and Juan Montiel. There's no clout in Jamal Charlo and Makhachev Selecki. There's no clout in goddamn Tank Davis fighting Rolly Romero. I guess there is. There's a little young boy shit on that. But I mean, there's no clout in none of these little situations. So if we're gonna be about some clout, let's just be honest about it. Let's go for some clout. Because what these dudes is doing, they hustling. Like if it was in a world of businessmen who are, let's say, are doing business the right way, motherfuckers would say that these dudes are hustling backwards, correct? Jamal Charlo, gee, I never seen a twin who runs the opposite way from a challenge in my life. It's like, bro, like, how are you the hitman? How are you the hitman, but you only beating on your family members? Your nickname should be domestic abuse man. Domestic violence man. Jamal Domestic Violence Charlo. Jamal Ike Charlo or some shit like that. Your nickname should be Ike, motherfucker. Because you ain't beating up on nothing credible in the ring. You only beating on significantly important people in your personal life. This nigga only beating on significantly important people in his personal life. He ain't beating on nobody of relevance in the boxing world. Nobody is relevant in the boxing world. You only beating on family members and shit like that. You rather have all your contracts is being signed in the front yard. They ain't being signed behind the scenes. They ain't being signed in the arena, none of that shit. They already... All this man contracts are signed. All his contracts are signed in the front yard. All his contracts got Kool-Aid stains on them. All that man contracts got Kool-Aid stains on them. You know what I'm saying? And some Newport ashes. And smell like sweet black and miles. Domestic violence was already taken by Tank. Oh, yeah. Tank is Mr. Beat a Bitch. Yo, it just tells you how outrageous these dudes is living and how out of sync they really are and what type of vibrations these guys really operate at. Because think about it, Tank Davis went as far as to beat his baby mother at the University of Miami. We're talking about Hurricane Nation, the University, the University of Miami, where all of the prestigious, with literally from 1980 all the way to the early 2000s, the most NFL top 50 NFL players to come out of any college. You dragged and snuffed and beat your wife in front of everybody, dragged her off the court all the way through the back and all of that shit, and had not one bit of remorse and didn't feel one bit of bad about it. And the worst part is he has a little girl. The sins of the father always trickle down to the kids in some form of, unjust, karma that sprinkles on times 50, bro. Being the best of a bad bunch don't mean shit. I couldn't have said that shit better myself. Like when you're like, what's the point of being great when everybody around you? It's like this, bro. Like Errol Spence. How good is Errol Spence really? I don't know. You want to know why I say that? Okay, yeah, Kell Brook was cool, but Kell Brook just came off of the back of having his orbital bone broke, going up in weight, trying to fight Triple G. So he was really shot. He was really having success when he dealt with you. Okay, you fought your Denius Ugas. He hurt you several times. He's not a power puncher. He almost knocked you out. The ref saved you and helped you. So there's some variables there. But how great is Errol Spence really when all of your fights are contrived in-house and everybody who speaks on how good you are all have a vested financial interest in it involved with you? Like I can't judge anybody if the interest, if every part of who they are was basically made off of the fact that it all came off of in-house investments. And that's literally Errol Spence, Gervonta Tank Davis, to a certain extent, Jamal Charlo, David Benavidez, and all of that. Like Jermell, I say Jermell because Jermell's a great fighter, got heart and all of that stuff, but Jermell can easily be beat. And they're gonna manufacture certain shit to keep Jermell out of the line of fire. If he does fight Bud, that's cool. But Jermell can be beat as well. The only difference between Jermell and Jamal is he willing to fight. But all of these dudes their greatness has all been manufactured in-house. So as long as your greatness has been manufactured in-house, how much stock can I put in how great you are if you never really willing to venture outside of that? It's like this, bro. It's like if all of us, right, the however many people are in here right now, it's all of us in this chat or whatever, just shared space with one another. If whoever in this chat could overpower every person in that group, does that make that person the best fighter in the world? I'm pretty sure we would all agree that no. That makes that person the best fighter out of that particular group. So if you don't ever venture out of your particular group and go fight other individuals in their element or whatever, or meet on neutral ground, how good are you? So your greatness is manufactured. So, like, do I view Errol as a unified champion on a pound for pound list? No, I don't. Errol ain't on my pound for pound list. You want to know why is that? Because his greatness has been manufactured in a house of individuals that they threw him with the understanding of knowing that we really believe that he can beat this guy. Because the people who give you contracts, they have a certain belief and they have certain places they want to place you. They'll put you here because they believe that, okay, this dude good enough to be a gatekeeper. This guy's nothing but a journeyman. We'll pass him around, give him low-level checks. This guy's good enough to, gatekeep right. He'll teeter right around being a champion. There's a chance that he could become a champion on a given night, but there's no guarantee there. This guy's a blue chip prospect. Now, if I'm using all of it, now if we knowing all of these things, so if we know that contractually these guys are going to place these dudes in certain ways, then we know that all of that shit's manufactured a certain way. So I don't feel like a champion should have manufactured greatness. I feel like a champion should have taken that shit. if there's 4 belts in the world, go out and aspire to get them shits, or aspire to go in any house to take them. And if you're not doing that, I'm gonna call you what I'm gonna call it how I see it. Errol Spence Jr. going nowhere near, but he won't. But here's the thing, though: how is he going to define this career and this greatness if he don't go nowhere near? Or who's going to be the one? It's like this: you can get your head knocked off by Bud with some bread, or you can have Boots or Virgil Ennis like rape and pillage that shit from you. I mean that shit. You can fight Bud for a substantial amount of money, and he can come right over to Premier Boxing Champions, back to that shit in-house. Bud talking about he is extremely confident that Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford happens in 2022. So I'm going to hang my hat on that, considering that they were worlds in between that fight even being realistic. So with that being said, you fight that dude, you might have a legacy. You don't fight him, you don't have one. You and Jamel ain't gonna fight. So what are y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna do this whole bitch ass like this whole ass shit where, okay, I'm gonna wait till you feeling like you done gained too much weight here and move here, and I'm gonna wait till you do here, so we lose this. Bro, this boxing, man. Cut the crap. Sean Porter and goddamn Terrence Crawford were closer than goddamn Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo will ever be. And even them niggas came to the realization where it comes to greatness, legacy, and future on the line, man, shit gotta move. So I don't want to hear that shit amongst them. I guarantee it'll be some in-house shit that literally brings them niggas to the table. But Bud on your list and his resume ass is gravy until recent history. Glacier Dawn, you bugging. If you would say Bud Crawford's resume was ass juice, then you only paid attention to his career at 147 pounds then. And I mean, I don't know how his resume is ass juice, because when Manny Pacquiao was fighting Jeff Horn, Jeff Horn was a world champion, and everybody thought so highly of the shit. But then but every time Bud dismantles somebody, they ass juice. When everybody else get a hold of them, they great. An undisputed champion at 140 pounds, a unified world, a multi-division world champion can't be ass juice. But I can tell you whose resume is ass juice. Errol Spence's resume is ass juice. Errol Spence ain't fought. He don't even have a career outside of 147. So you gotta be clear when you say certain shit, bro. Because when you talk about one person's career and then try to talk about another, how you gonna talk about one man's career when he's literally done nothing outside of 147, and you got a guy who's a multi-weight world champion who has other credible names on his motherfucking resume through all of those weights, but nobody will give him respect for it. But we're gonna honestly sit up here and say Bud Crawford has fought nobody, or is the fact that nobody's willing to fight Bud Crawford? I'll wait, and now all of a sudden people try to, and then the argument was at one point, oh, Bud needs to fight Sean Porter. He needs to fight this person, goes out and dismantles Sean Porter, and he still ain't doing nothing. So I'm just of the belief when it comes to these conversations, y'all are never satisfied. Y'all either got one person's thumb in your mouth. You either got Errol Spence's thumb in your mouth, or you got Bud Crawford's thumb in your mouth. It can't be one or the other. He absolutely fought nobody under 140. Okay, great. Okay, great. According to you. Okay, great. Who is Errol Spence beat? Who Errol Spence beat? Who Errol Spence beat? I'll wait. What has Errol Spence done that makes him that puts Bud? What about Bud Crawford that makes Bud Crawford careers more insignificant than Errol Spence's when this dude is undisputed multi-weight world champion? See, that's why it's like I'm not even going to entertain this shit, because it gets so convoluted, because people will like try to pick apart other people based on who they beat, who they feel as though they fighter beat. Porter was a good fight for him. That's the only. You're a casual. You're only giving them respect for Sean Porter. You're clearly a casual, because I won't even say Sean Porter was a great fighter on his resume. Sean Porter was a B- fighter at best. He was never an elite fighter, even if you consider him a world champion. That's how I know y'all niggas don't know shit about boxing. Y'all want to praise Sean Porter, praise him for what? What did Sean Porter ever do in his career? What are you giving him credit for? Danny Garcia or Devin Alexander? The fuck are we talking about? You a big casual. You a big casual. Sean Porter was a good win for him? I called that fight 2 years ago that he would stop him, a dude that was never been stopped. I predicted that fight a week before it happened, but that's a good win for him. Y'all don't know shit about boxing because y'all will disrespect every fighter that came before anybody that since Errol Spence came on the scene. Y'all don't know shit about boxing. And believe it or not, Ndongo wasn't a shit fighter. He wasn't shit until other people started coming around and shitting on him. Our niggas be on some casual shit. A nigga, and then you talking about like let's be honest. Felix Diaz was Sean Porter before Sean Porter entered the ring. Y'all niggas hate on niggas' whole careers and then talk about this dude like he ain't never fought nobody. The difference is Jose Ramirez going life and death with niggas like Victor Postal. Who is it? Josh Taylor going life and death with dudes like Victor Postal and Bud making the shit look easy. Every time Bud get in the ring with these dudes and make them look regular, y'all bring up other individuals that struggle with these niggas. And then y'all talk about other fighters who don't even have great distinguished careers, and this dude dismantles them, and y'all want to big that one person up? No, nigga, you tried to sell me Sean Porter. You tried to sell me Sean Porter, my nigga. The PBC has been selling you up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, nigga. Like your brain is fried. Your brain is fried because you not giving niggas they respect across the board. At any given conversation, if I had with you, if I could ever talk about a nigga who on career only campaigned at 147, and I'm going to be dismissive of an undisputed champion on any level, how many undisputed champions are there in history where we are going to belittle one man's accomplishment for doing the same shit? Because we can praise Canelo for going undisputed at 168, but we can't give Bud that credit? Niggas be ass with this shit, bro. That's why I be so sick of boxing, bro. Niggas be ass. Dog, type all you want. You a smooth casual, and I lost all respect for you in like 5 minutes. I mean, I fuck with you. Niggas is not going to agree to agree. Niggas don't gotta, we ain't put on this earth to agree with each other. I fucks with you, but what I'm saying is this, bro. It take me a certain way when niggas is just delusional, bro. When niggas don't give niggas no respect and they just jump out the window and they just completely say some disingenuous, some bullshit. And the shit you standing on is some straight bullshit. And you trying to serve that shit up to a whole group of people that could straight up tell you what you saying is garbage. So in the law of averages, we gotta go with some generalizations here, bro. And you sound bugged the fuck out right now, bro. You know I fucks with you. It's just like y'all just, man, that shit just blow me, dog. It's like, bro, like never in life. It's like, okay, if Michael Jordan pulled up to me today, if Michael Jordan and LeBron just both pulled up on me and shit like that, and we was gonna have a conversation on greatness or whatever, and I was to pull up them niggas' resumes, and we talking about accomplishments or whatever, I'm gonna look at the nigga with all of the scoring titles, the MVPs, the goddamn the defensive titles, the six appearances, 6 championships, the all-stars, all of this shit. I mean, he gonna have all of this shit in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Final Four, championship, college, game winner, champion in college, all of that. 6 for 6. Then I have LeBron pull up on me, and this nigga's like 4 for fucking 10. Am I going and had to go join this superhero and that superhero and all of that shit? Am I going to say LeBron's greater or Jordan's greater? Like, bro, like if we just go down the paperwork would tell you that Errol Spence can't even fucking hold that man. Errol Spence don't even deserve to drink that man bathwater, bruh. Like, for real. I just want niggas to be real about this shit, man. It just boils down to who's done more. Like, you can't, like, that's why I'm just like, what conversation do niggas be having? Who done what? And that's why I be fucked up, because regardless of whatever, I might not be the biggest Canelo fan in the world, but I'm not going to belittle his accomplishments, man. It's a tough. You beat 4 world champions, regardless of whoever should have been there, whatever. Nigga, you became undisputed at 168. Nigga, you went up to light heavyweight. Nigga, you won a title there. You went back, you might have lost or whatever, but you did shit that other niggas wasn't willing to do. When I boil down, when I look at Errol Spence, close the history books on all things, and let's look at Errol Spence compared to Bud Crawford. Errol doesn't make the Hall of Fame. Period. Bud does. What energy am I supposed to give the dude who trying to fight everybody, the dude who's going weight to weight to weight, who's never showed any signs of fear, the dude who has become a champion in every division he's been in, the guy who exercised his option, went and fought the dude, dismantled the dude that Manny Pacquiao wouldn't rematch. What energy am I supposed to give him, since every division he's winning, he's tried to become a world champion in it? And the only reason why certain fights aren't happening are due to politics, when it's like, yo, we want to judge people's greatness off of what they've been manufactured in-house. Am I going to judge a nigga based off a manufactured in-house legacy, or am I going to judge a nigga based off of what he's done across the board? So until Bud Crawford, and that's crazy, you said I don't have the same energy for Bud Crawford, I'm kind of taken aback by that, Glacier Dawn, because when Bud Crawford did that stupid ass shit, talking about he wanted to sue Bob Arum because of racial indifferences or whatever, I'm the nigga who jumped out there, told him shut the fuck up, and flamed the shit out of him with all high key energy. I never motherfucking sat up there and like try to defend him. I only defend what's right, and and I don't defend what's wrong. So it might not have been what you wanted me to jump on Bud for, but I definitely jump on Bud, and I keep that same energy when it come to everybody, bro. It don't matter if it's Devin, T.O., or whatever. I'm one of the first niggas to criticize niggas, and motherfuckers always might say like, yo, bro, you might have jumped out the window too soon. So I don't know what that's about. I have zero tolerance. Tyrese, what's goody? I have zero tolerance when it comes to shitting on a nigga who don't deserve to be shitted on. Like, what am I going? What about Terrence Crawford? Okay, what about Terrence Crawford's career should I shit on right now? I'll wait. Tell me one thing about Terrence Crawford's career, but and what should I be shitting on it about? Because I don't know one thing Terrence Crawford has done in his career other than try to go after every fucking world title in his division and fight everybody. So I don't know what I should be shitting on the dude for. Should I be shitting on him because other people feels like he isn't a draw? Is that something I should be shitting on him for? Should I be shitting on him because other people feel like he ain't put his best foot forward? Or should I go off of, what I've seen him do? Because, like, I'm just not going to shit on a man for no reason. Like we always, Reaper Gang Radio, we always shit on people who deserve to be shitting on. Bud ain't gave me one reason to shit on him other than, jumping out there with the petty, like, I'm going like sue Bob Arum type shit. But other than that, I ain't had no reason to give him no type of status. So I don't know. Like I just think that we judge that shit off of different things, man. Yeah, man, we know, certain niggas, and I get it, like, and I understand it, like, and let's not get this twisted for 1 second. Everybody don't have to have the hat I have on. Like, everybody don't have to be, like, cut and dry down the middle. All I'm saying is, it's like, bro, when it's so blatant that it's right there with the paperwork that we don't really have to say shit, we don't really got to do that, fam. Like, But if and I understand like that, I'm going to come from a position of like, okay, I'm talking about the sport and everybody in it. So I'm going to have a different level of unbiased or whatever. I don't expect everybody to be like, you ain't got to be 50-50 with me. I'm just saying, man, just keep it a buck with me. You ain't got to be 50-50 with me. Just be a buck with me. No, it's about acting like Bud didn't have all the smoke at 147 for years. That's what I'm saying. And it's just like, bro, it's like, that's the reasons why that's the reason why great empires fall like 300 years and shit like that, because of motherfucking, because of these select, ideologies and shit. Like, motherfuckers will be like, you got something that's been working for 200 plus years, but then you got this one motherfucker who just come along and say, oh, you know what I'm saying? We need to just go ahead and break the wheel and redo it a whole nother way because the way niggas was doing it ain't the right way. And then niggas start trying that and then the whole shit fall apart, bro. That's like these niggas over that believe in PBC. It's like, yo, like these niggas only do in-house shit, but they the greatest niggas in the world. It's just like I was saying about the cookie jar shit. If I only give one nigga a cookie and two other motherfuckers are starving and y'all witness that, how can I say that motherfucker deserve it and they don't? Come on, man. Come on, man. Niggas only niggas only want one niggas to get niggas only want one type nigga to get a cookie, man. Only want one nigga. They don't want to evenly distribute the shit out. They don't want to see if it's fair all across the board. Bud got the contract in his possession right now, right? What contract is that? What contract does Bud have in his possession right now? Because I've heard nothing of any contract signings or Bud signing any contract, and forgive my negligence if it's because I've been working so much, I ain't been able to be in the loop like that. But what contract is that Bud got right now? I'm confused. Help me, nigga. Help me understand, because I didn't know. If we had a contract, that shit news to me. That shit is definitely new news to me. Oh, it was a question. Nah, I don't think Bud got no contract. I do know all right, this is the only thing I know for sure. I do know Bud just signed with this I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's necessarily a sporting agency or something like that, but he just signed somebody who's linked to like Bally Sports in Las Vegas, Nevada. And Premier Boxing Champions do a lot of their business in Las Vegas, Nevada, and all of that shit like that. And he said something about the day where he was 100% confident that they would get the fight done in 2022. So could Bud be signing the Premier Boxing Champions? Possibly, because Bernie just said that they got a lucrative deal on the table to sign with PBC. So the Spence fight possibly could be happening. I'm just sitting back waiting for some real news to pop off because I don't know for sure. I just know that he's still technically a free agent right now. So I don't know what's going on. Dog and Spence not sent a contract, big fish. Earl's been running for 5 years. Now we ain't got 5 minutes to look over contract. Yeah, man. Like I've done so many videos proving so many points when it comes to this situation, and people still overlook it. Them joints get thousands and thousands of views too. And shout out to all the people that be watching the little Errol Spence, little Terrence Crawford videos I'll be doing and shit like that. They be getting thousands of views, and all motherfuckers want to do is argue with me. They want to argue with me about what I posted instead of paying attention to what the truth is. The truth is that man said he'd be ready to fight that man in 2019. That never happened. Truth is that man said he was going to entertain him on this side of the street. That didn't happen. The truth is, we do know for a fact that Errol believes Terrence Crawford to be the toughest match that he'll face. We do know for a fact that Errol Spence only fought Sean Porter, because he was the easier option. But we do know that Errol went life or death with Sean Porter, and Bud didn't even have to fucking try. That nigga didn't break a sweat. So we do know that Errol Spence is in hella trouble if that fight ever happens. Right, for real. We got Errol Spence not even really confident in himself no more. He's sitting up there talking about he's not the same no more. Yeah, he changed. At least he's good enough with identifying with that. But I'm just like, bro, if you're not the same, and if your identity is punching you through your head like that, bro, Bud gonna kill you. Bud gonna kill you. And honestly, I just want the fight to happen, bro. Like, it ain't even about who, what. Like, honestly, I got respect for Errol, bro, but my thing is this, like this fan shit make you divide lines, man. And like I just want to prove to people that what people think about boxing ain't necessarily what the sweet science really is. I want to prove to people that what y'all think is the real thing and the pound for pound best isn't that. And if I'm proven wrong, great. I want to be proven wrong. Like, read my lips. Like, I want to be proven wrong. I do. But I would rather see two niggas in the ring fighting one another so I could say, so they could show, so they could display skill at the highest level, and we get to see the best boxing match. So we could definitively say this nigga is the best at 147, or this person, instead of niggas bickering and arguing and never getting to come to that conclusion, bruh. I just want to prove to niggas like, yo, what y'all think is what's the real thing in boxing? That's not that. It looks like this. So all of that shit, and that's solely because it'll change I just wanted to change the way people view this shit. What y'all niggas think is real in boxing ain't real. What y'all think is skill ain't skill. It's manufactured shit. And you got to get away from believing in these dudes, man. So that's why I want niggas to fight. I want niggas to fight so people can see what talent is compared to what's clout. Let's do it. Clout versus talent. That's what I want. I don't want nothing else. I don't care about the sidebar conversations. I don't care if this nigga like this person or that person like that person. I want clout to get overshadowed by great fucking skill. Period. Nothing else matters to me. And I guess that's where I'm gonna get up off this joint. I gotta get ready for work. But respect to all y'all, man. I see y'all. I'm going live for Devin Haney versus George Kambosos, and I see y'all Super Nipper Sunday. As we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing. Pay a nigga no mind. Respect.